For those of you who have followed my channel for a long time, you know that I always talk about the process of thinking. That the thinking process is much more important than someone telling you what you should think. In fact, when you come across internet personalities, one of the things I always try to distinguish is whether they are telling me what to think or they're talking about their thinking process. And if you view people through that lens, you could get a much better sense of who you should be listening to and who you should be weary of. Because the individual is empowered through the process of thinking, and someone that talks to you about the thinking process isn't as invested in getting you to think what they think as they are invested in helping people better interpret the world for themselves. Because if you're an honest person, you know that when people gain the ability to understand the world around them, when more people in society have the ability to think for themselves rather than to echo what they're told, then the natural result will be society being a stronger, freer, more prosperous place. So when I talk, I always try to speak about the thinking process. I talk about layers of consciousness. I talk about people who think in terms of logic, people who think in terms of rhetoric. I talk about intellectual self-defense, the process of discovering contradictions within your own thought process and rewiring your worldview to make sure that there are no contradictions, or at the very least, the least number of contradictions possible in your interpretation of the world. And if you do that, you'll start to understand the world on a much deeper level. And if you do it long enough, your bullshit meter becomes very strong. And I mean, I could read articles now, and within 3 sentences of reading an article, I know if, at the very least, if they're trying to bullshit me or if they're trying to push forward a message of truth. So yesterday, I released a video titled, "Women Should Cook and Men Should Fix Things." And, you know, that's a controversial title to some people. And I wanted to gauge the reaction from the people that follow my channel. Now, I had a hunch that the people who follow my channel are high consciousness people, and they would be able to look past a title. And sure enough, I was very pleased with the responses that I got, and you should really tip the cap to yourself, because for many it showed good critical thinking skills, good listening skills, and good analytical skills. Because many people, when they see a title, "Women Should Cook Things and Men Should Fix Things," they will be instantly triggered, as they say, right? They see that title, "What do you mean?" Well, there's a thing called freedom, and women should be able to do what they want, and men should be able to do what they want. Well, first, you need to look up the definition of the word should. It's not should be mandated. What should be legal and what people should do are different things. If you ask me, I would tell you cocaine should be legal. If you ask me if you should do cocaine, I would say absolutely not. You should not do cocaine. So there is a discernment between the two things. But if you look deeper and you actually listen to the argument I made, the title of the video, or what people would see, is that they don't actually disagree with anything that I said. They're just overly emotional. Now, the title of my video was "Women Should Cook and Men Should Fix Things." And if you look at just the title, you would think that's the whole argument. But if you actually listen to what I said that intergenerational wisdom has been lost as a result of the modern education system. And if you want to know more, I don't want to go too deep into that. You could go watch my video from yesterday. But I said that young women used to be taught by their mothers, by their grandmothers, how to cook. And that's a skill that has been lost because of feminism and a variety of reasons. Where now, I'm not going to teach my daughter how to cook. That's oppressive. And, young daughters, they don't want to learn how to cook because all they're told is that's oppressive. So now we have a generation of women who don't know how to cook. And now it's tragic because wisdom, right? Wisdom has not been passed down from the previous generation of mothers and grandmothers to their daughters. And likewise, the same type of thing with the attack on masculinity and all that has taken place with men fixing things. And the example I gave was my father, my grandfather, they could make anything or fix anything with their hands, and I don't have that skill. So I'm currently working to correct that, and I'm fixing as many things as I can around the house, whatever it might be. So if you stop the argument there, you said, you see, it's exactly what the title of the video said. What do you mean? Women should cook things. Men should fix things. Well, aren't you sexist? No, because if you listen to what I said and got beyond the emotion of it, I went on to say that, and not only should young girls be taught how to cook, but in the modern world, they should also be taught how to fix things. And young boys who are being raised to be young to men, they should not only be taught how to fix things, but you should make sure that your boy knows how to cook. These intergenerational skills should be passed down to our children. And then when they have a skill set, they can decide whatever it is they want to do with their lives. Now, I didn't say whether the traditional gender roles were better or worse. I certainly have my own opinion on that. But from everything I said in the video, even a person that disagreed with me, they only disagreed because they weren't listening. What are you disagreeing with? Young men shouldn't be taught how to fix things and how to cook? Young women shouldn't be taught how to cook and how to fix things? Why wouldn't you want young children to have as many skills as possible? So anyone who acted emotionally and didn't hear out the whole argument, their thinking process has been so distorted that they're not even able to identify when they completely agree with everything someone has said. And reviewing thinking processes is one of the most powerful things we can do. So I wanted to discuss that today. I was going to go a little bit, take it in another direction, but I actually think that's a good point. I've left this out. I might talk about thinking processes a little bit more tomorrow or the next few days. So always evaluate your own thinking process. And if you weren't triggered by the title of my video, congratulations. And share this link. And as always, power to the individual and long live liberty.